Hi guys. So, how do my beliefs, faith, and values uh, provide me with direction when I'm experiencing unethical, unjust, or inappropriate situations in physical education and sport, and provide an example of that? I think, um, obviously, I think that for the most part, sports is looked on as a positive thing in our society, and we all see great things that come from it. It's in our curriculum in schools, and it's really encouraged to be a part of sports. And I think that I grew up uh, playing all those sports, and I really can see the value of that. And I think where my values come in place are just um, especially in violence in the sports. I think, in particularly, I guess the story I'm going to talk about is fighting, because football it's a violent sport, and you know it's just like many sports. I guess basketball and soccer. These are really violent sports where your body to body contact is going to happen, and you have to have a certain mentality going into the sport of um, to be physical. And when you get pushed to that line, it's really easy to go over the edge and lose your composure and start a fight. And I guess when I was um, playing football, and every team I'd been on that really there was a culture of fighting in practice or in the game, it really makes you step back and assess your own sense of beliefs and faith. And I think that at a time when I was transferring from San Diego State to Mount Sac, there was a culture on that team that was just, I mean, at practice there was an all-out fight where everybody on the team was fighting, and it was absurd. It was madness, and it made myself and actually my father at the time, who was one of the coaches, we both kind of went like, you know what, if this is the way it's going to be here, we're not going to be a part of this. So we kind of, coaches kind of talked it out about, should we continue to do things this way, and if not, how are we going to do things going forward? And I think that it it makes you, things like when that arise make you question your own sense of beliefs and values. And I think that everybody wants the best for themselves, and not all the time do we have that sense of empathy and values put on other people. And I think the golden rule is really important there. And I really could see a similarity of something like that to what was being discussed in the book, where um, we have a lot of, or there's these people who are the Christian faith, and they are fans of the sport. They go to the sports competitions, they sit in the crowds, they're spectators, but they're also being subjugated to the violence within the sports. And they do not, they didn't want to tolerate that, and they looked down upon all the atrocities that were happening to them as a source of entertainment. And I think for myself as a player, um, I can associate with that, where I do like to watch sports, and I think they did like to watch sports, and they had horse racing go on through the times, um, even after the fall of all of the um, pagan religions. But I think that they did enjoy watching sports, and I wrote in my other response a really interesting article on the topic, and it was on how they did enjoy those sports. They did enjoy to see those things, but they didn't want um, the violence and the killings necessarily. And so I think that was important. And so that's my response. And I think that my faiths and beliefs have a really strong influence over my actions in the sport. And obviously, whenever I see something wrong, I step in and I take action. And fighting obviously isn't something that's tolerated in any sport, and even the combat sports like boxing and ultimate fighting. There's rules within those where uh, there's a sense of honor and stuff, and so I think it's a fine line and it's difficult to discern, but um, your values and your core values, I should say, and your beliefs really should dictate those to you. Thanks, guys.